macOS Golden Gate or macOS 27 looks pretty good. Yeah, but I've had a couple dangers you should know before installing it. We'll get to those later. Apple centered this update, on optimizing the already existing liquid glass elements from macOS 26. In the spirit of that, they shrunk the space between the corner radius and the edge of your display. Yeah, so the corner radius now touches the edge. The sidebar itself, as you can see, also expands all the way to the window edges. Look at this, the toolbar itself is also more uniform. It now has this nice blur behind, and also the icons on the sidebar now lights up and off for the colors when the app goes into the background and foreground respectively. So it seems Apple listened a lot while they were designing macOS 27, at least for now. In the appearance settings, we now have a liquid glass slider that can let you adjust how much liquid you want in your glass. You can take it all the way down to transparent or all the way up to opaque here. So I think I'll settle for something around this point. Yeah, I still like enough liquid in my glass. But I have to say, this is some Android custom ROM level type shit right here. Yeah. Also, if you notice, the battery icon also looks different now. Yeah, it looks like it was ripped out of a Google Pixel. Let's look at iPhone mirroring. First off, we can now resize the app from the edges, unlike before where we would have to go to the view in menu bar. And also in supported apps at the moment, you can now go into this iPad looking view. Yeah, it's so crazy that you can turn your iPhone to your iPad essentially with iPhone mirroring. Yeah, this is awesome. To be honest, this kind of hints the possibility of an iPhone Fold. Yeah, because when you think about it, why would Apple go through the trouble of making this optimized for an iPad OS and an iPhone in one? That's exactly what a foldable is. Mobile phone and tablet all in one. Awesome. You can shrink it back to mobile phone view. Even take a look at the App Store. Like, it's awesome. This looks nothing like what you'd see on an iPhone. All in all, as time goes on, definitely some of the other third-party apps, you'd see optimizations that allow their app contents to also be resized in that manner. This is Safari as well on iPhone mirroring. Yeah, also works with the resizing. Yeah, because it's an Apple app, of course. I think it's still kind of buggy. I tried moving an app before. Let's try it out. Exactly. Whenever I try to like drag an app around, it crashes my iPhone essentially and reboots the UI. Yeah, but then it's a first beta, so I can't really complain much. Also, we have a new weather app design where we now have a view for conditions, precipitation, and wind. Yeah, it's not really a change in terms of functions, just the user interface. As you can see in precipitation, it shows these nice like liquid levels to show the chance of precipitation. And also, as you can see, by 3 a.m. where I am, there is a 10% chance for precipitation or chance of rain, will I say. Honestly, I'll say this is one of those times where you'd need 16 gigs of RAM if you want to like do some lab rat stuff on your Mac without so much pain and consequences. If you go into settings, we now have a new macOS 27 wallpaper. Yeah, and this is how the screensaver looks. Actually, I think I prefer this to what we had on macOS 26. So it's official, even the wallpaper looks more encouraging than what we had on macOS Tahoe. The icons themselves are also very different, yeah, especially maps and photos. That's where the designs are most obvious. Apple said they now use layers of glassy material stacked on top of each other to form a 3D feel and make the icon pop more. I mean, they certainly nailed it with the design of the maps and the illustration of how they did it on maps. Basically, that's like the system-wide new design language in liquid glass. Even every single element on iOS 27 also looks like it's stacked on top, unlike the 2D feel it had on iOS 26. When you talk about Siri AI, am I crazy or did Apple deliberately make the whole Siri AI pop-up thing look weird on the Mac just to make us rush to upgrade to MacBook Ultra with the dynamic island, which they probably would release later this year. Yeah, because after the crazy kinds of animations I saw on the iOS dynamic island, there is no way they are not going to use the dynamic island to their advantage. And that's why they have perfectly set the baits for us with this crazy, horrific design of the pop-up on macOS compared to iOS. That is just very diabolical, but respect. Respect. For a system-wide thing like Spotlight Search, Apple claims that searching now is way faster and the indexing is better, like by a lot, so it can really go through your stuff and bring out search results very, very quickly, relatively more quickly than what we are used to. I hope that's true. For some reason, the animation that shows those four icons here in Spotlight Search, I can't see that anymore. I kind of like that, and I hope Apple took that down by accident and they'll bring it back. Apple officially confirmed the collaboration with Gemini for Apple Intelligence using Apple foundational models and Gemini models together to form something cool. Yeah, they focused a lot on on-screen awareness and privacy with their private cloud compute. In short, it can never retain your personal information. Basically, you need an M3 or later to access their most powerful models. I don't know why, for some reason, I've been trying to turn my Siri AI on. It refused to work. And I've set both my region in general and also this language in Siri here to English United States. Anyways, I have to just make do for now. I'll still let you guys know when I'm able to do it and how to handle the wait list and the rest. I saw a trick about system integrity protection. Yeah, I can't even try it out because I can't even access this to begin with. It looks like at this point, macOS 26 is even a better spot to try out Apple Intelligence than this wall of bricks on macOS 27. Basically, after we get Apple AI turned on, we are meant to have a standalone Siri app, yeah, and spatial reframe in photos, which is something I really like. I mean, everyone has to like it after watching that Apple's demo where they demoed it on iOS and how awesome it looks. Also, we should have an image playground app, a better enhanced version that can generate higher quality images. I think what I like the most is the Safari where we now have notify me feature. Unfortunately, I also can't access that as that's connected to intelligence. Basically, Notify Me is the feature that lets the AI monitor your web page for you without you having to watch it 24/7, and then it will tell you as soon as there is a change that you have been waiting for. That is awesome. I can think of a million ways to apply such a thing already. Remember last year when macOS 26 came out and broke the app we used to limit our charging, Aldente? Basically, the same thing has happened on macOS 27, but lucky for us, we don't really need Aldente anymore. I mean, we have charge limits, right? Yeah, it's this simple. Aldente is still useful, but at least the pressure to find alternatives and break everything isn't as high as before. Basically, Apple updated their SMC or System Management Controller firmware. They always do that. Most macOS new generation updates. So you just have to give Aldente some time to work on that and correct the issues and adapt to macOS 27. Bartender also does not work. Yeah. Look at this Bartender, because Apple has basically rewritten the code they use for their menu bar. Yeah, you can see basically nothing is happening at all. Yeah, the app is basically practically useless right now, at least until Apple updates it. By the way, Apple has brought a way to clean up the menu bar themselves inbuilt. Yeah, when the icons are too much, you'd see a way to hide the excess icons. Usually, right clicking on this should bring an option to quit it, but I can't even do that. And I'm currently right clicking. Yeah, even on the one for better display. Left clicking works good and fine, but right clicking does not work. I heard of an issue where there was an invisible settings window. I have to say I am not noticing that on my own end. You can see settings works quite alright, no problems whatsoever. On Reddit, I heard about an issue with Wi-Fi, yeah, where they said Wi-Fi would be connected but internet's not working. So basically, it happens when you use an app like Little Snitch. That's what someone said. So you just have to check out for any VPNs or proxies or apps that relate to that are currently active on macOS 27 and quit them or disable them if you are running into this issue. I came across it and I just said, let me share it to you in case you have been dealing with that. On my M2A, I ran a Geekbench 6 benchmark and the score looks like what I would typically get. I have to say that the battery behaves like what I currently know on macOS 26. Yeah, there is nothing special on the good or bad side. Yeah, let's just say it could be like 5 to 10% worse than macOS 26, but it's more likely to be better since Apple is trying to optimize and fix issues. You know, on iOS 27, they brought a new CPU scheduler, yeah, to make everything faster, even on an iPhone 11. Yeah, Apple did a very good thing for those old models, unlike on the Mac line where they just went to the brutal and ruthless method of kicking out all the Intel Macs instead. Too bad, they just couldn't cross the golden gates, could they? For now, I'll tell you that if you want to try out macOS 27, just install it on a separate partition like I did. Yeah, I mean, as soon as I'm done recording this, all I have to just do is close and boot back to macOS 26 and it will be like nothing ever happened. It's that simple. Anyways, over the next few days, I'll be testing more on that Siri AI that refused to work, performance, battery life, and app compatibility, and whether it's worth daily driving or not. Thank you for watching.